What's up, guys? Welcome to a special episode. We're going to be breaking down Nils Lundkvist being traded to the Dallas Stars in exchange for a 2023 first round pick. Guys, we all knew this was coming. We knew that he essentially did not want to go to training camp. He refused to attend training Rangers training camp and said that he was not going to be playing this year unless there was a trade. And here we are with a trade. A 2023 first round pick from Dallas heads to the New York Rangers, and Lundqvist goes to the Dallas Stars. As you guys can see, in terms of what we can expect in line combinations on the defensive pairings, right now you have Ryan Suter, Miro Heiskanen, Eza Lundell, Yanni Hankapanka, um, Thomas Harley and Colin Miller. So that third pairing is kind of weak, in my opinion. But just looking at Niles Lundqvist's stats, he is 22 years old from Apatia, Sweden. He's a defenseman who shoots right, and he's only played 25 games for the New York Rangers as of right now, with a total of 4 points in his NHL career. He played his most part of the season last year with the Hartford Wolfpack, which is the AHL team of the New York Rangers, and that's essentially what happened in terms of this deal and in terms of what type of player the Lundqvist is and what they're going to be getting. He was a first overall pick in 2018. He was selected at 28 overall. Where do I see Lundqvist essentially playing? Well, obviously right-handed defenseman, so you're gonna have him on that right side. There's gonna be a lot of competition on that right side. You have Heiskanen, Hankpa, and or Hankapa, whatever you want to call him, and Colin Miller. And if I'm not mistaken, Colin Miller was just added this past offseason. Um, we're gonna be taking a look at what's going on in terms of this transaction, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing else. I think it's a straight one for one. Um, in terms of this deal. We have Mark Smith, um, the cat who's saying what trade. Niles Lundqvist has been traded of the New York Rangers to um, the Dallas Stars, and we'll see what happens here. Um, we'll look at his cap friendly. Oh my God, my bad. In terms of now Niles Lundqvist's cap hit, it's only at 925K. Not expensive whatsoever. He has a year remaining, so once deal is done, um, he will be eligible to hit the market as an RFA. Um, 2022, 2023. So he's going to be playing this season, but he also has a next season as well to be playing with the New York Rangers, with the Dallas Stars, essentially, which he signed this deal previously with the New York Rangers. And we're going to be seeing if anything else came out in terms of this deal. Hold on. So, who do I really think? This is a fair trade essentially for what Dallas gave up for Niles Lundqvist. Well, look, he is only 22 years old, so the kid has a lot of time to develop, and he's going to be getting a shot with the Dallas Stars, a team that's essentially aging, and a team that you know needs a lot of young bodies. They have Robertson, they have Odinger, they have Heiskanen. So I definitely think that this is a deal that really benefits them in terms of age, but also um, it's a trade that I was essentially say that you know um, that the New York Rangers had to make. They already had Vatili. Uh, oh my God, Krastov, who asked for a trade last season, and essentially that did not transpire. He signs a 1 year extension this past off season, so he's gonna have a shot to make the team. But they were trying to move him for the longest time, and he was a first round pick as well for the New York Rangers, and they weren't able to get a deal done, and instead they signed an extension with Krastov to stay on the team and have hopefully be able to crack a spot this year in the 2022-2023 New York Rangers roster. So, um, you know, essentially, I would say that it is something, that kind of sucks for the New York Rangers to have, these first round picks ask to be traded. Obviously, when you have a first round pick, you don't want to trade those guys. You want to hold on to those guys and make sure that, they stick with you as long as possible. These guys are made or are picked essentially to be pillars for, the franchise, essentially helping them inevitably to win a Stanley Cup. So I would say that, you know, it's something that definitely sucks, but they still get a first round pick in return, something that they could, definitely use. So this first round pick in 2023 is a top 10 protected pick. Um, if it's top 10 protected, the pick rolls over to 2024 without restriction. So there could and there was rumors at one point that Larry Brooks was saying that there could be another component coming to New York Rangers, but I think it's basically the trade that we see right here that Frank Saravelli has um, posted on Twitter that Nils Lundkvist has been traded to Dallas in exchange for a 2023 first round pick. There hasn't been any news whatsoever if there's any other pieces coming in, even though Larry Brooks was kind of hinting at it. Um, so we'll see. We'll wait a couple more minutes to see if anything else happens, but I'm pretty sure it's a 1-for-1 deal. So our first round pick heads to the um, New York Rangers in exchange for Lundqvist. Do I think he's gonna crack the lineup automatically? Nothing's given in the NHL. So definitely you would have to, you know, assume that this guy is going to have to come into training camp and work his ass off. We do know that I think he did head back to Sweden, if I'm mistaken, waiting for a trade to happen. And, training camp is on its way. So this deal gets done right before um, training camp. So he's going to be able to train with the team, build chemistry. So, that's good news for the team. Dallas's defensive pairings right now, we're adding Lundqvist, and if he could, progress and develop into the player that everyone hopes he could turn into, I think this is going to be fantastic. Suter's up there in age, Heiskanen's still good in age, Lindell's still good in age, Hankapa, um, obviously he's more of a defensive defenseman. He's just a filler in for now. Thomas Harley, pretty underrated. Colin Miller, underrated as well. But those two guys in the third pairing are essentially, you know, expendable. They could be easily replaced on any lineup. Um, Especially with a guy with Lundqvist who has such a high ceiling could definitely, definitely surpass those guys in the depth chart. So we'll see what happens. But I know a lot of people are freaking out that the Dallas Stars essentially gave up a first round pick for Lundqvist to usually you'd have to assume that a guy who asks for a trade, his value drops, but because Lundqvist's ceiling is so high, and I think the Rangers have a hard time in terms of developing prospects. Alex Lafreniere and Capo Caco being on the third line so far in their early career, not being able to crack a top six spot, that kind of sucks. But when you have Panarin and Zibanejad, at the time they had Ryan Strome, but now you have Vincent Chotrek coming in. Um, the Rangers are just too heavy up front. So, and on the Rangers defensive core as well. I just didn't see, Lundqvist essentially cracking a spot on that lineup. But, we shall see what happens in terms of the possibilities of him eventually cracking a spot on the Dallas Stars, but I think it's inevitable. I think he definitely does crack a spot on the team. That's just my opinion, essentially. But we'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Did the Dallas Stars absolutely fleece the New York Rangers, or did the New York Rangers fleece the Dallas Stars? I definitely would say it's pretty even, since he was a first round pick, and they did get a first round pick in return. So the values somewhat equal, in my opinion. A first round pick for a first round pick, even though the guy is 22 years old. Um, a lot of people on Twitter right now, fans of the Rangers in Dallas, very mixed on this deal. Um, as you can see, yeah, the Rangers always had a high price set for Lundkvist, according to Satiri Shah or Shah, whatever. How do you pronounce his name? But yeah, I think that's pretty much for this trade breakdown. We hope that you liked how we broke down this deal. I know it was very quick. We had another video essentially um, planned out for tonight, which was our overvalued fantasy players for this upcoming fantasy season. But what a trade happening, at this, you know essentially at this level, where those first round picks being traded for top prospects, we're gonna have to cover that type of trade. So with that being said, guys, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, and also just a quick word for our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Bet99. If you like fantasy hockey, football, or other casino games, please sign up to Bet99. The link is in the description below. You could use our code YoungGuns1, and you must be 19 years old and up to play responsibly. And also, the Mind Foundation Canada, they raise funds and awareness to find cures for neurological diseases and disorders, and they're currently focused on mental health. Their website is in the description below, so check them out to donate. And guys, Dallas fans, Ranger fans, would like to hear your personal thoughts on this video. Make sure to share this video with any Dallas fans or Ranger fans. And with that being said, guys, we'll see you on the next episode of the Young Guns podcast.